us about the new game Rage. So what can you tell us about Rage?
There's a lot going on. For the first time, we're showing into one we never had in the past, and we've got a lot of things that we're showing, and we're just excited to show people the game that we've been working so hard on. It's a new IP from id Software. We haven't done a new IP in over 10 years, so it's a big deal for us. We brought the world first-person shooting when we started way back with Wolfenstein. Then we did Doom and Quake, but we've been living in those universes for a long time. When we wanted to do something different, we knew it would be a big deal. So now we've married new IP, new fiction, new gameplay elements with a brand new technology we call id Tech 5. And we bring it all together, and hopefully we're making the best game that we've ever made.
You look like you could use a drink, stranger.
Of all else. But with a new opportunity, this is one of the things that kind of energized the team. We have new IP, new fiction, so we can do really whatever we want. We've been bursting at the seams to do all these new elements, and we're just kind of picking and choosing the elements that we think enhance the overall shooter experience. So there are a lot of new elements, and that's one of the exciting things about Rage.
So having seen the demo, one of the great things is just the scale of the game. Maybe you could go into a little bit of detail about that.
Yeah, I always say it's just big enough to accommodate all the things we want to do. But we have these wide open areas that people don't expect maybe from an id game. But we are still a focused shooter. So we have this kind of open but directed world. You always know where you need to be, but we entice the player by putting all these elements all around this kind of expansive world. And you're free to explore. We showed Crazy Joe's Shack in the demo today, and it's just up on a hill. We know players will see it, they'll be attracted to it, and they'll go and visit. But they're not really directed to go there. So there's an open element. You may take out bandits in one of the areas where they live, but we're not going to lock it off for you. You can go back in there. Maybe the mutants have taken over. So we do have this open sense, but at the same time, you're living through this action movie.
So with this action and freedom you were talking about, I noticed that one of the big things is the engineering. You can kind of build your own vehicles, little sentinels that work for you. How does that work, and just how expansive will that be?
Yeah, we were really careful with that. Again, not to stray too far, to make it really accessible and work with the controller and everything about it, right? So what we did was we just introduced the player to these schematics, these plans. Once you have the plans and the parts, you can build all these cool gadgets, these cool tools that make a meaningful difference. One thing we're really careful not to do is just have a billion different weapons and a billion different gadgets that overwhelm the player. What we do, we try a billion different things, but then we're going to pick and choose the elements that we think make the biggest difference, teach the player how to use them, and then it's up to the player to decide when and where they use them. And the engineering is a big part of that.
So it's not exactly Scribblenauts.
Right, it's not that much.
Okay, so being an action shooter, one big thing, multiplayer, how will that be?
Well, so we haven't announced our multiplayer plans, and we're going to wait till the end of the year. But the important thing to know is that we do have a significant multiplayer component, and we do have a lot of guys that are spending a lot of time working on that. With such a rich, everything from the fiction to the gameplay elements to vehicles and vehicles with weapons and new weapon types and offhand and engineering. We have so many elements that we want to make sure we pick and choose the right direction for our multiplayer component, and we'll be announcing that later on in the year.
Sounds great. So can you tell us what systems will we expect this on, and when will it release?
We worked really hard to get it to work. Platform parity on the PC, the PS3, and the 360. All of them running at 60 frames a second. No lag, no slowdown, because we know that means a lot to the fans of the kind of shooters we like to make.
And when can we expect it? Any word on that yet? Or?
We did announce that we are 2011. We just haven't announced exactly when.
Okay, so next year.
Right.
All right, so as you know, this game, or you may not know, this game will be featured on You Review It. So if you hit up the forums, your review could be the next official review for this game. So Matt Hooper, thanks for taking this time with us.
Well,
right. I'm Andrew at thegameheads.com. Thanks.